G'day and welcome to this week's episode of Going 4-Wheel Drive. Today we're at Lerderderg State Park. It's a half hour from Melbourne and a few minutes from Bacchus Marsh. We did this trip a couple of years ago and found the tracks to be a lot of fun, but this time the tracks have all been bulldozed. And what took us a few hours to do back then will take us about an hour to drive from the southern end right through to the northern end of the park. Now we really don't want to see two-wheel drive tracks, so I've included some footage of what the tracks were like back then with the footage from this trip. We cross the park boundary into Wombat State Forest and go up to a no-name track which we went up last time. Now this area used to be all logging with a mill nearby and scattered around with tram lines, which probably accounts for all the no-name tracks in this area. From the time we got onto the first track in Wombat to the end of the trip, it's bog hole after bog hole after bog hole, mainly shallow with firm bottoms. There are a couple of gravesite bog holes around, but we don't really want to risk drowning our trucks. So jump in your trucks, make yourselves comfy, and let's go and have a great day of four-wheel driving. This is Nuggety Track. It's got lots of little rock in it and some ledges further up which we can't get up, but we also got some little ruts here and there along this track. It's a fantastic little track, this one, but unfortunately it's all been dozed, so let's put paid to that. Our first little river crossing today is the Lerderderg River, which is around this bend and down the bottom of the hill. Boy, there's hardly any water in this river. Sure, the drought has really got to it. Now you'll notice that when you see the Prado going through water and from the rear end view, that you'll see Doug's brake lights always showing. I'll tell you the reason why for that later. the start of the park right through to the northern end of the park here, the tracks are all in this sort of condition. Very easy two-wheel drive. Oh, grouse! Water! Oh, fantastic! Bit of a deeper hole this one, so I've just got to go that little bit slower.
That's big. The only one here that's got off from the rut.
Oh, look at that. Oh wow. Get closer.
It hasn't taken us long to get to this particular area. It's just bog hole and bog hole and bog hole and bog hole. There's gravesite holes, there's shallow ones, there's all sorts of long, short, you name it, they're there, all in one place. And we caught these GQs coming through in the gravesite ones. Gee, they look great. These GQs don't have any lockers and they're not running 35-inch wheels. They're almost stock standard, and these guys are having an absolute ball. Oh, that's fantastic. Coming up after the break, we'll continue exploring the southern end of Wombat State Forest.
Your Yokohamas won't be long. Grab a seat and a coffee.
At Tyres and More, tyres aren't enough. We have to do more.
Oh, thanks, mate.
Double Black Off-Road has a great range of poly-performance products along with the innovative Double Black Off-Road unbreakable flares. Give Double Black Off-Road a call today on 03 9502 7790 or log on to the website. Avenger 4x4 has canopies, nudge bars, side steps and a host of stainless steel products, including the Mako line of winches. Phone Avenger 4x4 accessories 03 9776 1066. You know, there's one problem with this water. It carries all the grit from the clay, and when you go through it, it binds to your brake pads and your brake linings, and every time you put your brakes on, it grinds the heck out of the metal, out of the drums and discs. Now you notice that all through this trip, Doug's going very, very slowly. Now he's been doing this for years, going through nice and gently, and over the last 30 years, the breakages and breakdowns Doug's had has been zero. So it says something for going slowly. The boss girl really seems to like these sort of conditions. Bit of water, ruts, bit of mud, slippery clay, She seems to go quite well in these sort of conditions, whether it's uphill, downhill, doesn't matter. All the driving so far in Wombat has been on the flat ground. We've come to this gully and, well, it's got a bit of timber in there for a bridge and a bit of a creek that sort of dammed up a bit. Yeah, that looks fantastic. Can't wait for the bikes to hurry up and get through so we can have a go. This brings back memories. I used to go riding through the bush on my old XL250 like this. Not with all the protective gear though, that wasn't around then. There's a deepish sort of rut that we've got to straddle here, and a little bit further down there's a couple of little ledges we've got to drive into so we can miss going into the big bog hole. Here's a tip. When you're going through muddy water like this, it's always best just to put a little bit of pressure on your brake pedal so your linings are actually just touching the discs and the drums. That way all the grit in the water can't adhere to the pads and grind everything away. Oh, Doug's wimped it. He's not going to go through this bog hole. That's okay. When you're on a trip, you don't have to go through everything that you see. All the tracks that we're going on in Wombat today are all like this. They're clay, they're wet, and they're slippery like ice skating rinks. And it's just pure great fun. That's all it is, pure great fun. Oh, these gullies, they're fantastic. Going down the ruts and then coming out the other side, they are rippers. Oh, Doug's having problems keeping his engine running. That's coming up next after the break on Going 4-Wheel Drive.
Your Yokohamas won't be long. Grab a seat and a coffee.
At Tyres and More, tyres aren't enough. We have to do more.
Oh, thanks, mate.
Double Black Off-Road has a great range of poly-performance products along with the innovative Double Black Off-Road unbreakable flares. Give Double Black Off-Road a call today on 03 9502 7790 or log on to the website. Avenger 4x4 has canopies, nudge bars, side steps and a host of stainless steel products, including the Mako line of winches. Phone Avenger 4x4 accessories 03 9776 1066. Now, I don't know whether Doug's got a problem, genuine problem with his vehicle or not, but he's having awful trouble just getting down this section of track because he just keeps on stalling his engine. Now, we'll might have to have a look at it afterwards and see what's wrong. Hope it's nothing drastic.
Get him right off the edge there.
No, there's nothing wrong with Doug's truck. All he was doing was coming down first high instead of first low. After stopping and having a chat with the blokes with the bikes, it was time to head off again as time was starting to march on. Going around the next bend, we came across the bog hole. Now, this was a largish sort of bog hole, and whenever you're in doubt, you always get out and check the depth with a stick. There might be something submerged, and you certainly don't want to stake a tyre or have a stick go up through the radiator either. So it's always best to check. Wombat Forest is a very popular area for trail bike riders, so you've always got to keep an eye out for it. Now, it's not often I actually see Doug put his foot down the accelerator, but this time he does and gets the vehicle slightly sideways. Good one, Doug. Great. This bog hole is probably the longest and the deepest one that we've been through today, or at least going to think about going through. And you just got to be careful, as I said earlier on. You've got to check the depth and check what's the bottom's like, see if it's firm or soft, but you certainly don't want to go sinking in it, and see if there's any debris in there at all that could cause trouble. This bog hole has a big lip at the other end with a bunch of sticks there, and perhaps I should have just gone through a bit slower and tried climbing out first.
Doesn't sound good.
Doug doesn't like the look of the bog hole now with all those sticks floating in, not to mention sticks that might be stuck in the mud down the bottom. So he's decided to come around this way, and it's fairly tricky, but it's also very slippery for him.
Keep as close to there as you can. Yeah, you're right. You're right. Way to go. Go, go, go. Hello folks.
There you go, mate.
Oh dear.
That's where I'm going.
$2 grand to get you out. That's how much they charge up Walhalla. Oh, he's got his net. Yeah, he's got to get the shackle. How much water's inside?
Chockers.
Oh no.
Now remember earlier on I was talking about checking the depth of bog holes before going into them? This is the reason why.
As long as the seats don't get covered.
They're getting there.
Oh,
Oh no.
You can sit in the back seat.
yeah. Or in the tray.
The joys of four-wheel driving.
Next job after draining all the water out is to check all the electrics and everything under the bonnet, make sure everything's fine before we try starting it.
It is? Yes. Handbrake on in gear? Yes. Handbrake on. Okay, just slide out there. Oh. What did we make John do? No, he's exhausted.
They should seal off, shouldn't they? The injectors?
Oh yeah, you shouldn't get water.
Because I mean, there's
Yeah,
pool
it's
water
only
on the
water in
inlets.
your petrol tank.
Doubt that happened.
Yeah, no, the petrol tank was sort of, well, that was the highest part.
Yeah, that was...
Well, we've just about run out of time this week, but what a ripper of a day we've had. Those guys in the GQs getting through those gravesite bog holes. What a sight! If you want more information and trip notes, log on to the website. It's www.goingfourwheeldrive.com, and if you and your club wants to see your trip here, you can get all the details from the website. Now next week, we're going to be going to Langi State Forest. A couple of young guys with Hiluxes again, not growing up as usual, want to play in mud. So we tag along with them and see what they get up to. So if you see us on the tracks, say hi and come and have a chat. See you on the tracks.